Mark Zuckerberg's mea culpa. The Facebook CEO will testify before a joint hearing of the Senate Judiciary and Commerce Committees this afternoon. Zuckerberg met privately with Senate committee leaders on the Hill yesterday ahead of the hearing. According to prepared remarks, he's expected to apologize for the company's role in the data privacy scandal. Some lawmakers outlining their concerns about the social media giant.
I worry that Facebook really doesn't know and can't know everybody who is advertising on its platform.
On a number of decisions Facebook made, I think the average American will be shocked to discover how much of their personally identifying information has been available.
The business model for personal data has been changed. Consumers now have to be specifically informed and their consent definitely and clearly given.
Joining us now is CEO and co-founder of Brandless, Tina Sharkey. Tina, from a leadership perspective, how do you think Mark Zuckerberg will handle this privacy crisis? Also, the Chief Operating Officer, Sheryl Sandberg.
I think that, Facebook has done an extraordinary job really essentially connecting the planet. And so I've got to believe, given their commitment to people and all people, that they're going to do the right thing, because really everything they've done has been in support of their community. And this was something that was clearly a major faux pas, beyond, but they're going to make it right, because I think they're committed to the greater good of what they've built and the connectivity of everyone.
John?
From a leadership perspective, how do you deal with a brand crisis like Zuckerberg is dealing with now? How do you kind of write an impression of a company that has gone off the rails?
I think from a leadership perspective, the first thing you need to do is apologize, because we're all human, things happen. So he's apologized. Now you have to right the wrong. And you have to work tirelessly to engage with your community, be open in that conversation, and listen as much as you speak. They have extraordinary technical tools, and they're able, if they point them in the right direction, to hopefully right those wrongs, give people back their information if they want it, but not step away from the connectivity that they do for people and their social lives and their families every day. The key is staying engaged, staying open, and being in constant communication with the people that you serve.
The concept of your company is being brandless, but Facebook is the massive brand when it comes to social media. There's really nothing else that can compete with Facebook right now in terms of the way people connect with each other globally and with their families, with their friends around the world. So, do they really even have a brand problem right now? Because there's just nothing else out there to connect people right now the way it does.
Yes, so Brandless is unapologetically a brand as well, as is Facebook, but Facebook's brand is about facilitation. And so the art of Facebook is not what they say and what they do, but enabling other people to share what they say and what they do. And so they have to live up to that promise. If you're going to facilitate conversations, if you're going to facilitate connectivity, and that connectivity gets leaked to others, then you have to shut those openings. You have to apologize to the people that you're working with, and you have to give them the option to take back their information, but not necessarily withdraw from the conversation.
Right. That's part of the problem that Zuckerberg is going to have to answer today, is how much information is still out there stored on servers, not just related to the Cambridge Analytica situation, but literally a company-wide policy about data raking that went on from 2007 until 2015 is when it was implemented. But Tina, your company Brandless, and Leah mentioned it, it sells products that cost less than $3 by foregoing a so-called brand tax on products. Some celebrity investors include Zuckerberg Media CEO, we should point out, former Facebook executive Mark Zuckerberg's sister, Randy Zuckerberg, professional basketball players Steph Curry, C.J. McCollum. Do you think no brand is the new trend moving forward to consumers? Because we talk about the Facebook brand, but Yeah,
I would say that it's not about no brand, because Brandless is a brand. It's actually really about brands that are for the people, by the people, and build a community that they serve. And so what Brandless does is we listen to consumers. Products have their own message, just like people have their own stories. When I'm posting about my sister's birthday, that's my programming, and I'm sharing that with my sister and my family. When Brandless is selling, organic quinoa has its own story. We don't need to tell that story. We're facilitating a community that deserves better. And I think Facebook, in their own way, is an inspiration for the community that we're building as well.
Tina, the brand, well, albeit brandless, it's a brand itself. So the cost over time to protect that brand and grow that brand, does that start to eat into the savings that you have because you don't really have a brand per se? I mean, over time, you sort of go down that slippery slope?
Think of it this
when
way.
brandless becomes a brand.
Right. No, brandless already is a brand. Right. But what's interesting, it's a brand that's about living more and branding less. And it's a brand that sells directly to consumers. So when we say we eliminate the brand tax, what we mean is that from the time that something leaves our factories or manufacturers, it goes directly to our distribution centers and we sell it to you. Traditionally, things go through so many markups that you're forced to pay things that you shouldn't have to pay because better doesn't need to cost more. And so our whole thesis is that everyone deserves access to organic and better things at fair prices. And right now, you're being forced to pay more than you should. And so we're going direct to consumer, and we're eliminating all that inefficiency in the system.
How's business right now? How's
And
the economy?
I mentioned all products are $3 or less.
Yeah, so business has been great. Fox was extraordinary in bringing us on literally 24 hours after our launch. And I remember so well when I left the studio, I got a text that said 48 from my team. And I wrote back, question mark, what does that mean? And they said, states. We just shipped to 48 states. Now, 8 months later.
You got Alaska and Hawaii in.
Not yet, unfortunately, because we can only ship to the continental U.S. But every day, Brandless is shipping to 48 states, red states, blue states, purple states. Everyone across the country has sort of bought into the idea that everyone deserves better. So it's going great.
Tina, great to see you. Thank you so much,
you so
Tina
much.
Sharkey. Please come back. Please come back.